Expanded trades between communities have increased interactions between humans and animals and facilitated the transmission of infectious diseases. Thereafter, extended trade territories, increased travel, climate changes as well as effects on ecosystems raised the emergence and spread of infectious diseases leading to higher risks for outbreaks. In this video, we review major pandemics that have afflicted humankind throughout history such as cholera, plague, influenza and coronavirus diseases. Antonine Plague was an ancient pandemic that affected Asia Minor, Egypt, Greece, and Italy and is thought to have been either smallpox or measles, though the true cause is still unknown. This unknown disease was brought back to Rome by soldiers returning from Mesopotamia around 165 AD. Unknowingly, they had spread a disease which would end up killing over 5 million people. Plague of Justinian was an outbreak of the bubonic plague that killed up to 25 million people in its year-long reign of terror. Generally regarded as the first recorded incident of the bubonic plague, the plague of Justinian left its mark on the world, killing up to a quarter of the population of the eastern Mediterranean and devastating the city of Constantinople, where at its height it was killing an estimated 5,000 people per day. The Black Death. From 1346 to 1353, an outbreak of the plague ravaged Europe, Africa, and Asia, with an estimated death toll between 75 and 200 million people. Thought to have originated in Asia, the plague most likely jumped continents via the fleas living on the rats that so frequently lived aboard merchant ships. The Black Death was the second great natural disaster to strike Europe during the late Middle Ages and is estimated to have killed 30% to 60% of the European population, as well as about one-third of the population of the Middle East. Third cholera pandemic. Generally considered the deadliest of the 7 cholera pandemics, the third major outbreak of cholera in the 19th century lasted from 1852 to 1860. The third cholera pandemic originated in India, spreading from the Ganges River Delta before tearing through Asia, Europe, North America and Africa and ending the lives of over 1 million people. Flu pandemic between 1918 and 1920. A disturbingly deadly outbreak of influenza rode across the globe, infecting over a third of the world's population and ending the lives of 20 to 50 million people. Of the 500 million people infected in the 1918 pandemic, the mortality rate was estimated at 10% to 20%. What separated the 1918 flu pandemic from other influenza outbreaks was the victims, where influenza had always previously only killed juveniles and the elderly or already weakened patients. It had begun striking down hardy and completely healthy young adults, while leaving children and those with weaker immune systems still alive. HIV/AIDS pandemic first identified in Democratic Republic of the Congo in 1976, HIV/AIDS has truly proven itself as a global pandemic, killing more than 36 million people since 1981. Currently there are between 31 and 35 million people living with HIV. As awareness has grown, new treatments have been developed that make HIV far more manageable, and many of those infected go on to lead productive lives. Between 2005 and 2012, the annual global deaths from HIV/AIDS dropped from 2.2 million to 1.6 million. And finally the COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. The COVID-19 pandemic, also known as the coronavirus pandemic, is an ongoing global pandemic of COVID-19. The novel virus was first identified from an outbreak in Wuhan, China, in December 2019. The World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern on the 30th of January 2020 and a pandemic on the 11th of March 2020. As of the 7th of November 2022, the pandemic had caused more than 632 million cases and 6.6 million confirmed deaths, making it one of the deadliest in history. We must prepare for a world where pandemics are more frequent and increasingly dangerous. Preventing them, and never again allowing the human costs and economic damage that we have seen in the current crisis, must be a central obligation of national and global governance. We may have enhanced technology and the ability to do research, but the humanistic concerns remain poignantly the same. The wish to stay healthy, see friends and family, and be unrestricted in one's day-to-day life remains universally significant.